167 or thereabouts. So they do that intentionally. When they get information that, okay, there's going to be a possible hike, they just want to hold it. Now you're buying maybe at the landing cost of maybe 152, and you're supposed to sell as 167. You have 10,000 liters, and then you're adding another 3 naira or 5 naira to it. Means there is more profit. So DPR has to work with the different state governments, have committees in place, open what one can call a whistleblowing platform where people can send, okay, this particular filling station is shut down and they surely have fall. So DPR then can swing into action, because we'll keep talking about this over and over again until there are scapegoats.
Absolutely.
Are picked.
Right, Barrister, oftentimes you say that we're in a mess. I'm going to move on from that story to this next one, where southern state governments and farmers have dismissed the blockade by northern food suppliers, saying it is an opportunity for the south to boost its food production capacity. Officials of the states, including Lagos, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Delta, Enugu, and Ondo, in separate interviews with The Punch on Monday, explained their actions to ensure self-sufficiency in food and animal production. But Ondo and Cross River State went further to take a swipe at the northern food suppliers, saying they would not beg the traders to end their blockade, which entered the 4th day on Monday. Recall the cattle and foodstuff dealers under the aegis of the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers of Nigeria on Thursday stopped supplies to the south. Their action followed the federal government's failure to meet their demands, which include payment of 475 million naira compensation for destruction of lives and property during the NSAS protest and last month's crisis in Shasha, Oyo State. To enforce the strike, the union's task force prevented the members from transporting livestock and food from the north to the southern part of the country.
Yes, Ronke, thank you very much. You see, my position is unequivocal. As a matter of fact, for what they have done, for them to bring their produce back to the south, they must apologize in not less than 5 national newspapers for us to accept them. Let them keep whatever they are doing. It is a very good opportunity for us to come back to the farms. That's just the position. It is a very, very good opportunity.
Well, shouldn't
for
that
us
have been
to
what we
return to
it wasn't?
farms.
Is that now something? It's sudden, because if it's something that we planned that, we had said, in a few years, if the North decides to, but this is something that's abrupt. So is this something that can we really?
We can, Ronke. If there is no pain, there can never be gain.
Wow.
You see, and something.
And we know who's going to be feeling this pain.
You know, the interesting thing, Barrister, was that Israel never took agriculture seriously until after the Israel-Arab War. And they knew that with, being surrounded by different countries, there could be a blockade. And so they started taking agriculture seriously. For me, and I think we discussed this yesterday, this blockade is like leverage for the southern part of the country. Now, this is not about divisiveness. It's not about divisiveness.
Yes.
It's just about you waking up to the real issues. Now, if and when the southern part of this country take some of these things seriously, then you discover that the overall effect is that, one, we will be moving more towards food sufficiency and food security, and two, the markets will be flooded.
You see, it is not out of laziness that we left agriculture. I said this yesterday, to the north. It is just the idea of comparative advantage. Okay, let's say you have this comparative advantage, then you can go ahead and do it. Or it is not for you to abuse it. Now they have abused it, we must come back home. It is that they are not the only source of those produce or products. They are not the only source. So if this is what they want, so be it. So be it.
But are they asking for too much to ask that at least their lives are secure? Because if they are,
who is making their lives insecure?
Okay.
Who is doing that?
But we just saw.
We have always wanted them. We have always welcomed them. We have always accommodated them, and we have always treated them like family. Who started the whole mess?
And I think
the
again,
the killings and the ransom takings and so on.
I think again, if you even look at it, yesterday I was going to say that, but it skipped my mind. I will talk about this Northern Union. So are we saying that farmers in the north central are part of this? That's one. Two is, if the argument is because of the killings, then why are southern farmers who have also been moving goods there,
Right.
not create that sabotage, that economic sabotage when there were killings in the north. It's, for me, it's a no-brainer for when anyone comes. Now, no state government, even in cases where there have been these attacks, we have seen the state governments, go as far as, humbling themselves. We saw what the governor, for instance, did in the so-called palace of the, the Saki of Fulanese, in Shasha, and how some persons have even pilloried him for, looking like he's trying to cow before them. So if the state governors have done that, what more do you want?
You see, we have come to a stage where the governors of the Southwest, of the Southeast, must wake up from their slumber.
Right.
There is a lot of load on their necks now.
Absolutely.
I
yes,
see that,
because that's what I'm saying, that it's okay, or it's easy to stand before a news person that puts a mic before you and says, what are you going to do when food doesn't come here? To say, we'll be fine, we'll be good. But what are the steps that we are taking, practical steps, to ensure that this
we must start taking those practical steps now.
And interestingly, we have farm settlements. In Oyo State, each of the 33 local governments here has a farm settlement. What has happened to them? This is the time. I know that under this administration, there was an attempt to bring them back, and of course, that attempt has been on. The government needs to expedite action.
Not only that, all of those agricultural institutes, majority of them are cited here. What is their relevance? What are they doing? All right. I don't know if it is Ekiti or which one of them that is embarking on this ranching stuff. This is the way to go. Right now, every state must have a state-financed, at least as a takeoff, a state-financed ranch. All right? Let us go and import our cows from Australia. Let's go and bring them in from New Zealand, if that is what is required.
All right,
and then let's pump money.
Barrister, I would not even support importing, because again, Nigeria has the second largest cattle, and then we will
say they don't want to bring their cattle down.
Well, then before this,
before buy anywhere.
Don't eat meat.
Yorubas have been used to eating their goat meat and the like, so it will not be a problem. Sincerely, I think the problem here is that we have become so laid back as a country. Not even about north or south now. We have become so laid back. Oh, because the run is producing something. Let me there's something called outsourcing. But there are times you also need to be very careful to ensure that there are certain things you don't outsource.
Right.
We should have learned some of these lessons from experiences.
But then that's also, this lip service we pay to unity. If we're really united, should I be thinking, Plateau in 10 years, if he decides not to, are we really, so what's the unity that we profess?
And another point, Ronke, these people who are asking for so-called compensation, I don't know whether it is the right thing that the one who instigated the crisis is the one who is asking for compensation. Go and see how many farmers have lost their means of livelihood. Why are our farmers not asking for compensation? If federal government should pay that compensation, that one too is another trouble.
I doubt even
the
if
Cross
the
River
government
State
will.
Commissioner has a point here. It says that Cross River State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, he said that there is no use appealing to those blocking food coming from the north to the south, as the blockade would not last long. He stated they can't block foodstuff from coming into the south for too long, because if you say you are protesting and you won't go to the market with your food, who suffers?
I don't know.
I said that yesterday.
Do you know something? Tomato farmers are already crying in the north. So if they want to set their place on fire, let them go ahead and set it.
And these are perishables.
Perishables. So
you're taking them to a market already there is no want, and it means that you have to sell at a lower price. So
not even sell at a lower price.
No, they have to sell at a lower price. Or even beg to sell there.
To sell at a lower price.
So that creates a problem. Like I said, that the heavens will fall. It's not just one man's misfortune.
Right, everyone is going to. I mean, it feels like
how can one group of people hold a nation to ransom?
Exactly. Who's making sure that one person doesn't have doesn't just decide to be petty like that.
We will be all right, last.
Okay, we'll be all right. Anyway, I think the lady that goes to the market for me is a prophet, because I remember when you're talking to me about how you used to have your fridge full of, and I did that with tomatoes and peppers and onions.
Exactly.
And I'm smiling now because no matter how expensive pepper and tomato is, I have for the rest of the year. Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back on Straight from the Dailies. Don't go away.
Some energy drinks promise power, but are more like this. What you need is this. New Predator energy drink. Rule your kingdom. Now sells for only 200 naira.
Jọ, bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ìwọ ni mò ń bá wí. Ìwọ tó fẹ́ràn láti máa fẹ́ bí rẹ ní nǹkan tó dáa jù. Mo mọ̀ wípé ó fẹ́ràn awúni lórí DSTV decoder bundle yìí. Kàkà ẹgbẹ̀rún méjìdínlógún-lé-lọ́gọ́rùn-ún náírà. O lè ra DSTV HD decoder tuntun pẹ̀lú àkókò ìwòran oṣù kan lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórí DSTV Confirm fowó tó kéré bíi ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàádínlọ́gọ́rùn-ún náírà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Pẹ̀lú àkókò ìwòran oṣù kan lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórí DSTV Confirm fowó tó kéré bíi ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàádínlọ́gọ́rùn-ún náírà. Tó o bá jẹ́ni tó sábà máa ń fẹ́ kẹ́bí rẹ̀ gbádùn àwọn eré alárinrin, àkókò rẹ̀ rèé. Àǹfààní yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kìíní oṣù kejì. Fúngbà díẹ̀ ni o, ìlànà àtàdéhùn sì wà. DSTV Nigeria, àsìkò rẹ ni.
Charles!
Yes, mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Now, where's that big malt? Today was just one of those days. You know, woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my Oga's work, then Oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic malt. Dubic malt, crown the moment.
Are you a petroleum dealer? Do you own petrol tankers? Are you a depot manager? 7117 is the number for you. 7117 is for you. Yeah, to check your products, yeah, and check your payments, transactions. 7117 on your phone. Check your delivery schedule. Yeah. It's so convenient. 7117 is for you.
Introducing Downstream Remote Monitoring System, DRMS, for petroleum products depots, retail outlets to monitor and manage all petroleum products activities using *7117#. DRMS is powered by the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, Petroleum Regulatory Agency of Nigeria.
It is time for celebration. 30 years bustling with goodness. The challenge can never ever stop us. You can't underrate us. You can't underrate it. But still with so much greatness. Enjoy our wonderful.
Right now, it is 8 minutes before 7 o'clock on Splash 105.5 FM. We are the Integrity Station. We're so glad to be here. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa, and this is straight from the dailies. We'll be looking at the story, or we have been looking at the stories making headlines. We've got more for you from the Tribune newspaper this morning. It says here, in days ahead, call for President Muhammadu Buhari's resignation will grow and the demand would be legal. Senior lawyer Mr. Femi Falana said on Sunday. The senior advocate of Nigeria was reacting to the arrest of Salisu Tanko Yakasai, a media aide to Kano State Governor Umar Ganduje, who was sacked for joining the chorus demanding the president step down over raging insecurity in the land. Many open supporters of President Buhari are soaring on him as the central government appears helpless in tackling the security monster. Tanko Yakasa is a member of President Buhari's ruling party, and his erstwhile principal is a strong ally of the president. Nigerians have continued to condemn his arrest by the Department of State Security Service. Fallon reminded it is on record that the APC and its leaders, including President Buhari, National Leader Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Malam Nasser El-Rufai and Alhaji Lai Mohammed, repeatedly called for former President Goodluck Jonathan's resignation between 2013 and 2014. Yet they were never subjected to any form of intimidation for exercising their freedom of expression at the time. There's so much, a lot of people are calling out this government for, because if we talk about protesting, President Buhari did that. Nobody arrested him. Nobody questioned him. And now if you talk about people actually calling for him to step down, which is anybody's right to call for him to, and now, we see a lot is happening that they would not have taken if not that they were in government. Barrister, what are your thoughts on this? Okay.
Well, you see, Ronke, we are at the threshold of a crisis of monumental proportions. And if the reactions we're getting from the seat of power is anything to go by, the president appears either completely oblivious of happenings in the country, or is becoming incapable of processing data for information necessary for making rational decisions. In both cases, in my mind, it suggests incapacity. In the case of incapacity, you will ask, what is recommended by the ground norm? I don't think there is any lacuna in the Constitution in that regard. What appears to be playing out is a dereliction of duty by the people's elected representatives at the National Assembly. The well-being of society must not be sacrificed on the altar of politics. I think it is time for NAS to invoke the constitutionally recommended medical panel to assess the state of health of Mr. President to determine if he is not rendered incapable of that seat on account of ill health. It is the duty of the National Assembly to discover the ills of society and articulate appropriate responses thereto. I am admonishing the National Assembly to invoke the provisions of Section 144 of the Constitution. I think we need it now. I seriously think we need it now.
Right. Plus, what are your thoughts on this?
It's
like double standards. A lot of people are, calling out these double standards.
For me, I think one of the things that we have witnessed under this administration has been this clear-cut intolerance. And again, like they say, a swordsman is always careful not to have the sword being taken over his head. And because they know how much such acts of civil unrest, civil disobedience caused the last administration, maybe they were a bit wiser, but then disregarding fundamental tenets of democracy. And this is why everyone needs to be on their toes, calling out this administration to do the needful. Because if we keep getting laid back, we will keep repeating such occurrences. Now, some of us started shouting way back 2015, when this administration intentionally massacred Shiites. People were putting up defenses for them, saying, no, there was provocation of the army and the likes. When they started with some of these acts of, illegality, a lot of us started shouting, but of course, we're called, maybe we're fifth columnists and the likes. And now we have seen it, because when you keep emboldening any act of illegality, you have created a room for another one to be committed. And that is how we have found ourselves. But then there's never a time that it's too late to do the right thing. And the right thing now is for all conscientious human beings within this country, all conscientious Nigerians, whether home or abroad, should come together and ensure that this administration is reined in, lest we have a situation where there will be a total disregard for the rule of law.
Okay.
You see, just to add to that, it is not enough for Nigerians to be calling for the president to resign, because he is not going to resign. And that's why I'm calling on the National Assembly to invoke the provisions of Section 144 of the Constitution. They should set up a medical panel. Let us assess the state of health of this president. It might be, like I said, something may just be wrong. He's an old man.
Well, a lot of people say they would never do that. Why would
the National Assembly not do that?
They would not.
We can compel them to do that. Well, maybe it is time to go to court and ask them from what we are. Because look, we cannot sit idly by and watch this country disintegrate. We cannot watch it disintegrate. Look, do you know I have noticed something? I posted something on my Facebook. I don't know, Ronke, do we have winter in this part of the world?
Absolutely not.
I don't know why all the ministers have gone into hibernation. They're not saying anything. The one that is even most annoying is the Minister of Internal Affairs. Is the Minister of Internal Affairs not the one who should be out there talking about insecurity and all that we are getting? Raouf Aregbesola, the only time I have heard him talk is when
there is table manners. So you don't talk while eating.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right.
So, do you know, there was something happened recently.
Right. Let's just quickly take this. All right. Well, we want to let you in to this conversation. We'd love to hear your views this morning. Real quickly, you can text us or you can tweet at us at Splash FM 1055. Someone has a comment here. Omo Ajibesin. Okay, Omo Ajibesin says, so where are those Twitter economists that claim subsidy removal would be in favor of the masses? You and I know market forces will never be in favor of the common man. All right, Lowa says it's not out of place for Ganduje to sack his aide. It is solely his prerogative, and the aide should have resigned if he doesn't believe in the government. However, arresting the aide is unnecessary. The government needs to do more on security. God bless Nigeria. All right, number to call is 080-5699-8678. That is 080-5699-8678 or 0706-9493-000. That is 0706-9493-000. Love to hear your views this morning. And of course, you can text or you can choose to call. Or if you're on Twitter, feel free to share with us. All right, on the issue of Northerners returning food stuff back to Southwest, honestly, this is clarion call to Southwest governors. We have all resources to farm in Southwest. It's high time to go back to farm, and I think it's not difficult to have our ranch. Thank you. Raji Afiz Abidemi there with that story. All right, okay, Zamfara schoolgirls release. This is according to Martin. Hello, good morning. Hello, do you want to turn down the volume on your radio set, please?
Hello?
Okay, hello. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Good morning. Hello?
Hello, good morning. What's your name, please?
Yeah, good morning. This is Kayode.
Hello, Kayode. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think for the Northerners to have stopped their food supply to the South is a blessing in disguise for us in the South. As much as we depend on them, they also depend on us. Very soon, maybe in the next 2 months, we will start harvesting our own pepper and other things here, of which they themselves, by then, they won't have that in their own area. So they will now need to depend on us again for tomatoes and pepper, because that has always been the shift year in, year out. So it's just a matter of time. But I would want to encourage our people to please go back into farming. All these things, we should not just depend on cash crop alone. As much as we need cash crop, we also need all these arable crops, which we can easily sell on the as quick as possible. Then we want to plead with our government to please encourage our people on this farming so that we all can go back to farming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Like, as a genuine encouragement, because we hear of people saying, oh, they'll say come for this thing, but by the time they get there, some people have already done all sorts of things. All right, so early this morning, news broke that the Zamfara schoolgirls have been released. And then there was just a story I was going to take, which is by Peter Obi, about amnesty and ransom. Peter Obi is the presidential candidate of the PDP in 2019. And he said that those advocating payment of ransom and granting amnesty for bandits are encouraging criminality in the country. He stated this in an interview with journalists on the sideline of the presentation of a book. All right, we've got somebody here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
Okay, what is my name?
Good to have you here, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Did I hear you say the Hausas are bringing back food items to the south?
No, I didn't. We didn't say that. Bringing back food items to the south?
I thought you said they were bringing back food items to the south again.
No.
In fact, I would have probably said that we should even refuse buying their foodstuff. This is the time we have to sit back and see what we do about the shortfall famine in the southwest, as we have been clamoring for it. For how long shall we wait for us to be fed by a particular tribe? We have all that it takes to do farming in the south here. And in fact, part of the complaints our farmers are making is that these people are the ones destroying their farm products. So if they don't bring their farm products any longer, we will be able to at least produce enough that we will eat, instead of depending on them to buy from them to eat. So I want to admonish everyone, even both the government and the people, that even if it will cost us 1,000 naira to buy one tomato, it's just for a while. When the borders were closed, did we not survive? So this is the time to start to put our acts together as a people, especially the southerners, to be able to feed ourselves. We should not bother about whatever the Hausas are doing now. In fact, I think this is the right time to even reject the produce if they bring it to the south, so that we are not buying. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You see, I've always said something. If you want peace, you must prepare for war. And that is the position that should be taken by all reasonable leaders in the south, whether southeast, whether southwest, or whether south-south. If you want peace, you must prepare for war.
That should not fracture what brings us together. If we're preparing for war, then what's the point?
No. What I'm saying is this. You see, because you won't allow something take you. Okay, look at what is happening.
Absolutely.
The issue of
it's
food
something we should have thought about. We shouldn't have waited for a crisis.
So if we had been preparing for war because we want peace, we will not be in the situation we are finding ourselves. All right? And justice must precede peace.
Absolutely. This was something we shouldn't have waited for a crisis, I feel. It shouldn't have been a situation of preparing for a war.
Exactly. No, that's what it means. That's
Hello,
what it
good morning.
means.
Good morning.
What's your name, please?
Yeah, this is Ayuko. I'm calling from Milora.
Go ahead, sir.
Last week, I listened to interview Michael Lasubo conducted with one special advisor to Mr. President. He said, and the man said, Nigeria is out of recession. They should stop fooling Nigerians. We have summarized into the pool of recession in 2015, and Mr. President doesn't seem to care about it. The president says that what we are going through in Nigeria is just government of the elite, government by the rich and for the rich. So they don't let the masses that are suffering. They need to do something about it, because they should stop telling lies about what is going on in Nigeria. They need to cry onto international organizations so that they will rescue us for all this mess, for all this nonsense. Nigeria is already, we are playing a result in 2015.
Okay.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning. It is 6 minutes gone past 7. Would love to hear your thoughts and contributions to the stories making the headlines this morning. Tochukwu OJ says the writing is on the wall. The South must begin to prepare for a post-disintegrated Nigeria. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Tochukwu. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Ronke.
Hello, Reverend Koye. Good morning.
Good morning, Plato, Barrister. Good morning. Let me first of all say to those who are asking Mr. President to resign, he will not resign. It is on African. Let us try to move Nigeria forward. Whatever advice, whatever memo you have for Mr. President, let it be pressed forward. Asking Mr. President to resign is just like, I say it as a hate speech, very sincerely. And I'm also saying, those being arrested for criticizing Mr. President, it is not the way for the government to go. Any Nigeria at the moment who is not criticizing Mr. President is not a lover of Nigeria and is just a mere sycophant. Leaving that aside, a news resonating with me this morning goes to attention of Governor Makinde and the Commissioner for Environment in Oyo State. the government has spent a lot of money constructing road and drainages. Go and look at the drainage. They are filled with debts. I suggest to government, from gate to Iwo, let all the shops at the roadside be closed for 3 days and let them bring out the debts in front of their offices. And let the government provide a van to move it away from there. In front of Methodist Church, Agodi, I want the presbyter to bring out the boys from the church into the gutter in front of their church and bring out all the debts there and let the government provide vehicle for them to cut it away. These are things that the church should do. These are things that the society should do. And then I want to advise government, bring back, what do they call it in those days? The works department. The work department are the people that pay the gutter and the drainages. The rain are coming again. The people locked up in Agodi, bring them out to do some work for the society. The rain is coming, and we must be ready to make sure we don't experience Omiyale. And those throwing dirt into the gutter, it is dirty. It is not supposed to be. Ibadan is rated as the dirtiest city in the world. Don't let us cancel that description. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Reverend Koye. Good morning. Thank you very much. Okay, 2 seconds, Barrister. We've got to.
Yes, you see, there was an advice I gave the last administration, and which I want to recommend for this present administration, and it is this: look, we must involve the people in this exercise of keeping the environment fine. Why don't you organize competitions between local governments? The cleanest local government of the year gets a prize, 10 million, 5 million, or whatever, all right? Beautification of your local government. So let's put them to task. Let's make the people
Barrister, which local government?
Who's going to...
Whether and local government chairman?
Even if there are no local government chairmen, there are people who are managing affairs there now. This is for the people. I am saying that if we make that a priority, we can get the people to work. Government saves a lot of money too, and the people too make a lot of money. Okay. All this planting of flowers, planting of trees, cleaning of drainages and all that, let us make it
Barrister, again, I ask, which local government? Local governments that get just a subvention of 1 million naira a month.
This is the state now that is putting them to
No,
task.
because if we want to say this, we have to look at what are the bottlenecks.
What will motivate them? How would they? How
if you are getting 1 million naira as, let's say, Ibadan North, just 1 million naira, or no, Ibadan North is even good. Ido or Akinyele that is big. And you're getting just 1 million naira subvention monthly, you can't go beyond that. What reasonable thing can you do?
I am not asking the state, the local governments to finance it. I am saying the state should finance it. Whether it is a local government or not, it is still within the state, all right? And, at least the way we are now. I understand they are working and making arrangements to put in place democratically elected local councils. Good enough. I pray that they are able to get there. But in the interim, this is something that we can do. Let us make it a competition between the local government. And I tell you that many of the boys are jobless. They don't have anything to do. But now, if they know that they're going to make some money, if they keep their environments clean, we can get them working.
Okay, all right, let's move back to Twitter and take some more comments. So Lola says, going back to the farm is a good idea for the Southerners, but there must be security on the farmlands. We must come together to solve this security problem. There's beauty in diversity, and we should explore it. Shitu Akim says, well, I've never been an advocate of subsidy removal because I know it can never favor the masses. My wish in this era of demand and supply forces has always been that may the price of crude oil not be more than 15 naira, but it seems my prayer is not answers. Adewale Abubakar says, although the act of not bringing foodstuff down south is a blessing to us, if we're ready to go back to the farm, many of us are too lazy to go back to farm. Let's start the farming from our backyard. Let those that have goats cage them from disturbing the neighborhood. All right, thank you very much. Okay, we've got someone here. Hello, good morning. All right, let's keep the calls coming through. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Ronke.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is Akim Lushiri.
I have you here. Go ahead.
I want to ask some questions this morning. Who has been our president? Is it that doesn't care about this kidnapping that we have been experiencing for the past few days? All what we have been hearing from the presidency are from people that are appointed by him. Where is he? I think it's a very sinner crime. The president will come out and decide with the parents, with the parents, with the states, go there personally, assure them that such thing will never happen again. But we have always been saying about our president. He seems to be less concerned about this. And I think his body language that people normally talk about, he's not even listening to the situation. He's too silent on this security matter.
I think Olusegun needs to understand that there's something in military balance called MIA, missing in action, and the president is still booting.
Currently missing in action.
He's booting.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's hope that the load's 100%. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. How are you?
Great. Thank you. What's your name, please?
Morning. Yeah. Allah is the name. Happy New Month.
Same to you.
If you want to start agriculture of my crop, barista, I have the first facility enough so you can start a break. That's by the way. I always say something. I don't know why you people protest those journalists. If I mention anything vice president, they will yank my court. I don't know why. The country is already, I don't know. We are already lawless from that angle. We voted for the president and the vice president on one ticket, and it's constitutional. How can, let me give an example. How can when COVID-19, when the owner of the law of COVID-19 was everywhere, where was the vice president? If the vice president cannot have enough health, cannot garner enough health to run around, where is the vice president? Why is he the secretary that we never gave any mandate? We never gave him any vote, calling the PTF. I mean, what do you call it, presidential tax force? Where's the vice president? And if we mention these little things, and you're not saying Nigeria
I think we need to get some things right.
Upside down. Maybe we should try and see the office of the vice president in the constitution.
Okay, so what?
The instruction to start from there. I remember the last time I was trying to talk to other hand. Under 13 seconds, they yanked my phone.
Okay.
You people, we are very, very immoral in this country. It starts from those little bottles. It's a sad situation. What about Joe Biden? I mean, Mike Pence. When they said they should, find a way of retiring his order.
Okay, Mr. Ola.
Why did you guys go wise?
I think you are comparing apples and oranges here.
Absolutely, I was going to say.
Now, what does the Constitution say about the office of the Vice President? Whether you like it or not, Obasanjo said it all. A Vice President is a spare tire, and it is only when, even when you're having a flat tire, you can decide that. See, I'm going to use this car till I get to the rim, and I will not change. So, if the Vice President is not given any role to play, it would always, the solution is simple. Ensure that there is a constitutional reform. That's the only way out.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Well, Mr. Ola, you didn't get yanked there, so I was wondering what was even so controversial about what you were saying that you feel like you would get yanked. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, this is Charles.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
I want to reply on Barisa's comment that you said government should be cleaning money to be cleaning it should be doing competition. It's very ridiculous. How can government be giving money to clean the environment?
No, competition, I said. Competition, I said.
No. In other countries, government make money from such a venture. If you look most of the buildings and shops we have around, most of them even have dustbin at their frontage. Most of the waste they end up in the gutter. So the government should look into this. Most of these complexes, let them have waste bin on their front. Those of them that don't have, you penalize them. That's the way to go about it. You even bring in more money to the coffers of the state government. Then to comment on the president, that people are asking him to resign. Of course, he will not resign. It's not in our culture. But you see, I think this presidential system of government is not favoring us.
it's not even, I think it's not good for developing countries because of our insincerity. I'm looking at it, maybe we can consider the parliamentary system of government. I think this one will give the National Assembly more power. If you go into parliamentary system, I think to some extent it will free up more cash for the government to invest in the country. Unlike this presidential government that we are spending most of our money on recurrent expenditures, and this is not freeing up enough money to help the country. And lastly, on the problem created by the blockage of tomatoes and other things not coming into it, I think the issue should be resolved amicably. I don't think everything should be resolved. Even though the West too can go into aggression, it doesn't mean because this was blocking the addition. That's why they want to go into aggression. They should go into aggression, but they should still resolve that issue amicably.
Thank you very much.
I think I am going to have to disagree with Charlie for the first time. I would not want a change from this gibitocracy that we're running to that parliamentary system of government that you're talking about. What majority of Nigerians are asking for now, and the opportunity is here for us to take that advantage. Let us, at least if it is a confederation, we need the component units of this country to function properly. They are not functioning right now.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about parliamentary system at that level again. Let us come into a kind of confederation. That would be much better in the circumstance.
Okay, well, I think on that note, this will be a great place to round off. And of course, a big thank you to Barrister Yomi Ogunlola. Thank you very much, Plateau. Thank you for your time here. We appreciate you listening. We thank you for being a part of the program. We've got more for you. Our Sports Bang is coming up at 7:30, and then at 8 o'clock, I will be right back here as we go beyond the surface. If you've had issues buying fuel, if you've bought fuel at an exorbitant price in a petrol station, we'll talk about that and why there's even scarcity. I was trying to get someone to talk to me, but trying to get one of these marketers or people to talk during this time is like trying to, hear the voice of the Lord in a nightclub. But don't worry, we'll progress with the program, and of course, we'll take your contributions and comments. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning, and thank you for listening.
Charles!
Yes,